Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It is Thursday, December 8th. I'm Tracy McCain here with meteorologist Christian Morgan and Megan Milleris.
Hello, hello.
I didn't know which way you were going with the M. You could have gone Megan, or you went meteorologist.
It was a moment where I was split in the middle, and I didn't know where it was going, so I just let my tongue do the work here and decide for me.
Your brain came to an intersection and you had to pick which way you were going to go.
And at this point in the morning, after what I've been through this morning, y'all know, I'm ready I was like, you know what, whatever comes out will be perfect.
There you go. It worked.
It worked, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And guess
Sometimes
what?
you just have to go with it.
Guess what? You've been asking for it, and I finally delivered for y'all.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of sunshine.
Woohoo!
That's what I'm talking about.
Sight for sore eyes, no doubt about that.
It's been so gloomy.
Oh, it has. Take advantage of it. It is short-lived, but look at that. Wow. Haven't seen that in a few days. Mostly clear skies and some sunshine. Of course, the rain is out to our west and will be back before we know it, so take advantage of this morning. Clouds will thicken up this evening as another batch of rain rolls into the Piedmont tonight. Now for today, a little bit of a backdoor cold front has settled to our south. That's allowing cooler high pressure to our north to take control very briefly. And this is dry air moving in, which is why our clouds have thinned out this morning and why we have a little bit of sunshine. Again, short-lived. Area of low pressure and a warm front start to lift back to the north. That will increase our cloud cover, and it will bring us a batch of rain as we go into this evening and on into your Friday. So here's the plan today. A partly cloudy sky to start. Clouds thicken up and rain arrives again by the time we get towards dinner time tonight. So your evening commute could feature an isolated shower. Better chances for rain are going to come after sunset until about 9 or 10 o'clock. And then most of the rain will taper off to just some scattered showers overnight and going into your Friday. There's that big batch of rain, 5, 6 o'clock this evening. It's out of here by about 8 and 9. Things are tapering off as we head towards midnight. Now, here's the one change in the forecast. I think tomorrow is a little bit less wet than it was originally looking earlier this week. I think most of our big deal rain is going to stay to the south across South Carolina and Georgia. Still, though, we'll have a scattered shower chance for your Friday that we cannot discount. So I would carry along the umbrella just in case. But it's not an all-day rain event, but definitely not a washout. Heading into the weekend, Saturday will start dry. And guess what? Here we go with another chance for showers, but it's Saturday night, really after sunset into early Sunday morning before sunrise. So Saturday is dry. Most of Sunday in the daytime hours are dry as well, with a partly cloudy sky as well. So I think we're going to be okay over the weekend. Tonight, evening rain, clouds, and a little bit of fog develop overnight. We're dropping down into the mid-40s. And then tomorrow for your Friday, mostly cloudy, scattered showers. Either way you slice it, rain or not, it's still a raw day of weather, upper 40s to near 50 with a mostly cloudy sky. A little bit drier heading into the weekend. We'll keep that shower chance in for Saturday night through early Sunday morning. After that, we're in the low 50s, cool and dry and sunny to kick off next week. Monday looks totally dry. Tuesday looks totally dry before another system heads our way to bring us rain again by Wednesday and Thursday.
All right. Glad to see at least some improvements.
A little bit of improvement. Every little bit helps, doesn't it?
It does. All right. So people could use a lot of help sometimes with conversation topics at family gatherings. You know, they can sometimes be awkward. So let's talk about some tips from a professional poker player on how to stay cool and avoid awkward moments.
Because a professional poker player would know, right? How to stay cool under pressure.
The poker face.
The poker face. Okay. So Ian Simpson is that professional poker player. He says there are some similarities between playing the game and dealing with tough emotions and moments that being with your family and friends may bring. His advice includes not to fidget. He says don't scratch your skin or play with your hair. He said keep your voice balanced, and when you offer up a thank you or someone offers one to you, just be nice and say you're welcome.
Behaviors like rubbing your arms or cheeks oftentimes can signal distress. So if you spot someone doing this, they might need some extra reassurance. If you need to pretend to be interested in a story you're not really interested in, lean toward that person as they speak and keep your posture open. These body language tips can help everyone have an enjoyable holiday, or at least get through them. Yeah, so we're finding some interesting comments here on our feed. I asked, how do you handle awkward holiday conversations? Are certain topics off limits?
Right.
Scott said, no political discussions, no exceptions. Bobby said, I changed the subject to something very positive and to something everyone can relate to. Gerald said, I know some families call 911 when discussions go south. Oh gosh. Scott said, Rhonda said, Scott, I agree. I will walk away. And Bobby added, politics off limits.
Politics and money, things you never talk about over the holidays
True.
or on a first date.
Or engagements or family scandals, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Not
it
that I have
depends.
any,
It
but-
depends in what.
No, that's a good point, Tracy. I mean, there have been a lot of articles I've read about this lately because there are, psychologists who attest to the fact that holidays can be really triggering for some people. Certain topics that you might not realize are triggering can be triggering, especially asking someone, oh, wait, when are you going to get engaged? Why are you not dating anybody right now? When are you going to have a baby? These topics just don't need to be brought up, especially not in a public family gathering setting.
Or figure out the appropriate way and time to ask someone. You don't have to do it in a family environment. You can pull someone to the side and, ask a question very, delicately or gently.
Yeah.
You don't have to broadcast it to the whole room. So, Christian, when are you getting married? When are you having a baby?
So when is this? Why is that? Like, there's a
exactly.
softer way to
Absolutely.
ask
Your
it.
approach really means so much.
And I can tell you, if the person really wants you to know, they'll tell you without you
Right.
asking about it.
Right.
That's a good point.
I can't.
Or they'll bring that topic up.
I can't tell you, and Megan, you probably get this too. Even after a number of children in a row, people still ask me, "Are you having any more?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I've had strangers ask me that.
Can
Strangers.
I raise the 3 that you have?
I'm like, I'm working on what I got.
Yeah. I mean, normally,
it's a normal question people want to know, and, but I think there's like a delicate way that you can address it.
Agreed.
right. I mean, you just never know
say-
someone's circumstance,
Yeah.
even a loved one. It's
Right.
just.
You know what I do if I really want to know something like that? I just compliment them on their motherhood, their parenthood now. I'm like, you are such a great mom. These kids are so lucky to have you. And then usually we start talking about that, and then they say, yeah, well, we were talking about maybe having, and it just kind of comes up.
That's true.
And I think that's from my interviewing skills, like over the years as a journalist, just kind of like leading into it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way I lead Christian in conversation. So,
Things you never want to
How's
ask a
this?
meteorologist about over the holidays. Snow.
no.
So, Christian, it's been a really cold.
When you
dreary
think it's going to
December
snow,
so
Christian?
far.
I like use the
Pull those tips on a poker player. Lean in, open up your posture. So it's been
Mid-bite. When do you think it's going to snow? Oh,
Right. Well, don't you wish sometimes you could leave your title at the door and just be Christian instead of like
yeah, sometimes.
Christian the Scientist?
But
So my friend who is a doctor says that, he wishes he could like leave his.
can you look at this place on my leg?
Absolutely. I'm like, oh, Julian picked up a cough. Do you mind like taking a look? And I get it. He's there to like enjoy the family and and his family's there to enjoy our family, and then it always turns into like, so what's going on with the shortage of amoxicillin?
yeah.
My thing is, I mean, you guys know, I love talking. I love talking to people, I love meeting people, and I love talking about the weather, right? Because you don't get into this job unless you really love the weather and like to talk about it. So I don't mind talking about it. I don't mind people asking questions about it. The one thing is, like, when you try to challenge me, it's you ask me a question about the weather. Fine, I'll talk to you all day long about that. But then when you start to challenge me with absolutely no education or knowledge, then I start to root, and I'm like, I don't know.
Then it's time to walk away.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it's time to just leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door.
That's funny.
Yes.
That people would do that.
People are still weighing in on what they do to handle awkward conversations. Tamrika said, we just turn to jokes, and then everyone is laughing. Scott said, have a lot of wine ready. Gerald said, don't ask to borrow money. Well, sometimes wine is the problem, so you got to figure out, your
got
family
another
dynamic.
discussion on
Yeah, exactly.
Eggnog can sometimes do the trick.
Gerald, can I have a buck?
Yeah, don't ask him that, he just said. All right, this is a fun, obviously important first talker. Going to be revisiting it, I'm sure, as we get closer. We do have some morning headlines to cover and an update in Moore County, a good one at that. All power restored after the attack on the power grid took 35,000 customers offline this weekend. A major improvement considering there were still extensive outages yesterday at this point. Now the investigation intensifies. There was a $75,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. Investigators say someone shot at 2 Duke Energy substations on Saturday, initially causing 45,000 outages countywide.
Power also back on for more than 2,000 people in Greensboro after a car crash took down power lines last night. It happened on East Wendover Avenue near English Street on the east side of Greensboro. Police say thankfully no one was seriously injured in this single car crash. And of course there are a few more repairs, but that could just take a few hours. So follow the detours in place.
Greensboro police have identified a suspect in the deadly hit and run crash on Church Street last month. They have said Joseph Shelton is the person who hit 67-year-old Jerry McBride on Black Friday. Investigators say Shelton's car had a fake tag and his license was revoked. He faces several charges, including felony hit and run. McBride sadly died a few hours after the crash. His family said they thought of him as someone who would live forever. And again, police have the suspect now. They are hoping to learn more information.
A lengthy court battle in North Carolina now in the hands of the U.S. Supreme Court. The ruling could take a while, though. It has to do with how our state conducts elections, and the state Supreme Court ruled Republicans gerrymandered, meaning they tried to make a map more favorable to their party. The court had a panel of experts redraw the lines, but the GOP says it was not appropriate for the court to do that, and it was actually an overstep, according to the party. A decision from the court is expected next summer.
We are outside of the Windsor Rec Center, standing in front of the A&T4 mural. This piece of art was funded by Participatory Budgeting, or PB. They take ideas from the community and bring them to life. And this is just one of dozens of projects that they have given birth to. The ideas with the most votes from city residents are implemented. Since 2016, $100,000 has gone to each of the city's 5 districts. During this cycle, more than 2,000 people voted. Winning projects include park improvements, solar charging stations, and garden benches. There are also citywide projects.
Additional seating at bus stops across the entire city, so we'll look at adding 2 or 3 depending on the availability of space and where the routes are. Another one that won citywide is some research studies to identify historic neighborhoods throughout the city. We used to add sign toppers in that neighborhood to identify that neighborhood.
And these may seem like minor improvements, but studies show the money is worth it in the long run. Data from bigger cities show that these investments have resulted in fewer serious crimes.
There's a connection to all of that. As you improve areas and people in the neighborhood gain ownership of those areas, there's more desire to take care of those areas and to know what's going on and be involved in the neighborhood.
PB will find out if it'll get its needed funding for these projects when City Council adopts its budget in June. PB says that in the past they have approved their other cycles.
And taking a live look outside across the Piedmont this morning. Ooh, we got sunshine. Man, that's nice to see. Sorry, I was taken back a little bit by that. Clouds come back this evening. They don't bring anything back except for the rain as we go into your Thursday afternoon and evening. Most of the rain, bulk of it is in here around sunset and out of here by about 9 and 10 o'clock tonight. Tapering off to just a few scattered showers throughout the day on Friday. Not a washout, not an all day everywhere kind of thing. Just pesky showers here and there. Weekend is dry for the most part. A few showers are possible Saturday night into Sunday morning. Then we're dry and cool with low to mid 50s, about average for this time of the year, kicking off next week.
All right, that'll about do it for us on After GMS, but we're looking forward to seeing you on our main channel on no, that's not what it's called. It's called the Good Morning Show at 9.
That one. It's really a great program. If you have really not joined us at 9, we encourage you to do so.
It's so great I remember the name.
In all seriousness, though, it's pretty good content. So we do hope you join us then. Get out there and get to it.
Take care, everybody.
See you.